what's the Emperor say in Star Wars as he's trying to entrap Luke into the dark side? Yes, pick up your lightsaber and strike me with your weapon. Yes, he says to the Jedi, I can feel your anger. And so there's a point in this that he's being led by design, you can call it a conspiracy, to become evil and hateful, to pick up the lightsaber and strike him with his weapon so that he what? Becomes one of them. So does he do that? And when he does do that, do they know that he's going to do that? And then does he counter the Emperor? Yes, he puts up a shield and then counters because he's baiting him and he's going to bait him to strike it a certain way. Then he's going to, like Aikido move, use his energy against him. Now take a lesson from that and look at the evil side of modern women. Not all of them, but some of them. And one of the things that I want to draw your attention to, I think that this is the first MGTOW hashtag that I've used. So let me go ahead and articulate the differences between myself and mainstream MGTOW people. This would take hours, and I've already uploaded past podcasts. So go ahead, go to the playlist section and take a look at the video that is talking about how women in this society are very subservient to men. This is not promoting random subservientness. And there's a lot of belief systems within MGTOW that are misogynist and racist, which I 100% disagree with. However, due to the dark side of a lot of women in our culture, they're still going to be drawn to those MGTOW, racist, misogynist, bad boys. And there's a lot of women out there that will fellatio an angry MGTOW guy with status and will actually use the anger of the man against him by bringing the men under their control. We have to have extra light here. And we can talk for a while. I think that we need to talk for maybe an hour. Slowly, so that the men and women have a healing from this. So that the men and women realize that this is about equality. This is about romance. And you need to have a masculine figure at the microcosm manning the Titanic. You need a man. Because we as men, we have something about us that makes us different than a female. This is what I suspect and I feel is being shown to me or is being revealed within me, higher self, not external God beaming, this is God. Alex, see this. Mr. Vallis, see this. I feel like my last name is a curse. So I feel like there's magic of a positive sense in identifying in something other than a stamp, just so you know. Just so you know. I haven't escaped into a different identity if it's the same people watching me. We have like a spiritual backbone. I didn't say all men, and that be toothpaste. I'm trying to brush my teeth more. That's why. Not all men, but certain men. We have a spiritual backbone, and it exists in the sperm, in the seed. That which you might call a resistance fighter, a patriot, or a revolutionary, or a genius, it is in the sperm cell. Okay? And so this world is a very dark, dark side to it in how it eradicates and gets rid of, through mind control, feminism, and then the dark side of masculinity, in where men become feminized in the dark sense, dark feminine, right? I don't mean like true feminine. I mean like an evil woman, men. You know, like the men mimicking the behaviors of evil women, and then evil women mimicking the behaviors of evil men. So what you get from me within this genre, if I choose to identify with it, is a lot of information. But there are basket cases in MGTOW that don't understand the alien conspiracy. They're at a very McDonald's level, and a certain amount of them, I don't know if any of them have woken up, cannot be talked to, and they cannot handle criticism. I remember trying to rekindle with the person known as Sandman, who promoted me many, many times. And so I have MGTOW videos that have hundreds of thousands of views when I was fresh. But as the systems of control became more, YouTube, I found myself more shadow banned, and a lot of those videos that I worked really hard on that people really vibe with, the money for those went away, and there became somewhat of a war on MGTOW. And then it's difficult to know how many are women, how many are men. It seems like it's disenfranchised or asshole men that are Canadians or in other places that are warring on American MGTOW for reasons that are, I don't know, my sports team versus your sports team, typical sports team jock talk thinking, which is just alien to me. Yeah, pretty fucking gay. But there is true spirituality in stepping back from sticking your penis and using women as objects. Society is so fucking evil. There is so a spiritual side of MGTOW and stepping back from using women as receptacles for sperm. Like, this world is so fucking sick and isn't like ashamed to insult spiritual men as insoles when they're choosing to not fucking sin against God. I figured this out in recent years, that there's an actual reason why MGTOW is growing, because there's an aspect of our species that wants to be spiritual. And certain men are realizing that all if you do is jack off the booty shorts, and you're very hypnotized by all this stuff, it's not a good thing. I don't know how long to go with this, but women have been told right away how this is different than other MGTOW content, which some of it may be misogynistic and lean towards neo-Nazism. And then there could be intelligence operative stuff or demonic operative stuff. For example, when Trump was elected, even on some porn websites, because I'm not completely pure, I saw thumbnails saying now Trump was elected, it's time to expletive. I'm like, what? Who would put that there? Seriously, craziness. No. And I don't like Trump. And so there could be some mind control, and there is, that men like Trump or something, and that Trump alone represents like the rape of women or something. And yet good men, let me slow down, that are nonpartisan, that are overtly anti-racist. I don't like to say it that way because Antifa. I don't like Antifa. Against hate. Where has there ever been a hottie chick, stripper hottie chick, Antifa, Portland, who even knew my name and liked me? I'll wait for 10 seconds for you to get that part. Anybody listening right now who's male or right wing, living in middle America, be like, what? What? But if you watch me for a while, you already know they're fake as fuck. But someone who doesn't know, be like, are you telling me that in Portland, of all places, you had difficulty? Yep. And so let's talk about the title again, MGTOW Spiritual. When men, let's not focus on the race. When men are removed from leadership, women fall under demonic alien AI control. So years ago, I put out these videos. When good men leave or are forced out of mainstream society, there's ramifications for women's safety. And again, like other topics, said calmly without you statements, because I don't know who you are. And if you're a new female viewer who's local, I am so grateful that you're here. But I've never seen confirmation that anybody local. If you just ever want to just say local without talking to me, just say the letter L in the chat room. You just type in the letter L in the chat room, like for LSD, just go L. Okay. But it's assumed that none of you are local and that I'm in a demon portal hell, speaking figuratively, because I'm challenging you, and that everybody hates me who's female. All right, got that out of the way. But this whole thing with the Starbucks lady, the heavyset lady filming me with her phone, calling the cops on me because I'm going like this and going, shame, 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 shame. Free speech is awesome. Why are you hating on me? Just talking to them and being expressive with my eyes. They're liking like this type of, we're in control of the earth now, and you good men are asked out. And we were engaged in a spiritual battle right there by the Walmart, the Starbucks there. And then, with angry people, black people screaming at me and stuff from inside the Starbucks. Big, tall, black guy yelling at me, pointing at, like, what? I'm against racism. You're not even hearing what I'm saying. You're allergic to my energy. So when we talk about in my life, it has been a gradual decline in male management in our lives. We've seen the rise in females. They're not all good, and they don't all like women. And we've already talked about that. Now not all women like women, and a lot of women have issues with other women above them treating them like a lesser thing. And then there is the issue of white supremacy and black supremacy within management when women are in control, the type of systematic racism, anti-white racism in some cases. And so black racist women are all over America now, places of management, and I find many of them spiritual. So I'm not being racist. I'm telling you that they're not innocent of systematic racism, either women or black people. In fact, they've dished out a lot of it to me. And unfortunately, there's only three main groups that I feel will be receptive to my Dion Fortune information right now. Latinas, when they tell me, so far they haven't, maybe one did. And there's Maria in Colorado that said, my people's life matters. She's the first, but she also left the channel. So they may have attacked her. Maria, are you there? If I never hear from Maria again, it is assumed that either you're a demon or you're attacked by demonic forces who somehow attacked you for saying Afghan lives matter. And that I made my audience feel uncomfortable for them even being subscribed to a channel that said that I believe that some people could come under attack. So I'm saying you need spiritual men in spiritual leadership fighting the evil. You need men like me with our brain power. You don't want a man like me doing drugs. Trust me. You really don't want me developing a career as a McDonald's manager. Or do you? Why? Don't forget to smash that like button. This would probably be the proper time. Here, I'll do it myself. This would probably be the right time to tell you that Alan Rillionaire, the black motivational speaker for Big Black Cock, has filed a copyright on this channel. And if I continue to upload content from him where they promote the Big Black Cock over whites having value. So I want you to understand, if you happen to be one of those that thinks I'm crazy watching right now, how could you be that way when I'm exposing content creators, or were you not there for that in the last couple months, that are constantly talking about how women are basically demonic and evil, and there's a lot of them, if they don't want Big Black Cock. You know what I mean? And I don't agree. I don't think that all the women's heritages should feel pressure to spread their legs for the black man. You know what I mean? And so when we deal with a guy like me talking about Black Lives Matter, and we just saw somebody bounce, because the focus is there and my power is real. God sees the people that look at me and looks down upon the closet racists. They're just sitting there I'll put that attention right there on these demons. Okay. We are not in the type of world that you think you're in. You are in the matrix, and I'm not who you think I am. I'm not a nobody. Okay. I'm the best friend you ever will have in your fucking life. Best lover, best friend, best cook. If you were to even befriend me. And there's only one human in recent years who has befriended me, and she has all my love. Whether I'm turned on by her, not turned on by her, I can't orgasm. Okay. Right now, if someone's not really hot to me, but can I love someone? Can a smaller man love a heavier woman in a world in which a heavier woman can't like a shorter man? Yes, I can be bigger, better, and more spiritual than the scumbag demon women that are sharing space with me on this planet. Okay, that have no love whatsoever in their heart. Okay, and when they hear that from me, okay, instead of insult me and berate me, you're being challenged to show love. That's what I would do. And I've done that. When I've seen people be racist towards like Afghans and say they all have it coming to them because of past actions and not know the full history, I email them and introduce myself and try to get a dialogue going. Okay. And then the leftist white woman who acts like she's against racism and Nazism shows that she's a Nazi on the left, refuses to speak to me. And so I know what I'm dealing with. This world doesn't want me to be in leadership. This world and the people in it, including many people in the audience, do not want to see me with children. And if I was to have a partner, show that partner that was deep, I would be concerned for people hating her because she gave me the time of day. Yeah. Like in my audience, I would see people turn. And so when you don't have spiritual men in leadership, you don't have somebody to say the buck stops here. And I've been the point man of men of a whole city in many cases. To be the only human, I'll give you an example. And they covered up the evidence, so you would not see how good I really am. 2016, an individual by the name of Jesse. I'm going to omit it on this channel. I told the full story on the other channel. He doesn't want to talk to me, and you can troll someone a million times and they'll ignore you till you say your name, right? So I can have a fake account and then go, it's me. I'm the person that you berated. And you're the one who claimed that you knocked out a Nazi and you're nothing. You made it up. You didn't knock out a Nazi. It was one of your Antifa thugs, and you make Portland look bad. Okay. And you make the right look good to right wingers. Okay. And so basically, like, I have a power that's very threatening to tall white men that are racist on the left, leftist right wingers that have a Nazi heart. And Jesse, who was a part of Black Lives Matter, a white dominator within BLM, is one of those folks. And in 2016, there was an Antifa versus right wing screaming match at the Portland airport. And a guy was knocked out who was a prominent megaphoner, extremist, biblical guy. He acted like a white supremacist, but wasn't a Nazi. And so instead of actually go after real stalkers, real white supremacists, real Nazis, Portland Antifa punches down at anybody basically doesn't agree with them. And it doesn't agree with what some people call weaponized migration. So supposedly they'll show up they're anti-racist by engaging in brute strength and violence and basically knocking people out. And they will very rarely be arrested, these white thugs, by the white police, which is actually part of the white power system. But they don't talk about that, Antifa. So anyway, I'm trying to explain this to you, that I was the only person to notice on this video footage that when he made the swing that he missed the blow, and then another guy came in and knocked the guy out. And so I talked about how he was trying to get what's called street cred and popularity because he was running for office in Portland at that time, this Jesse guy. Okay. And so I call him out, and it's discussed in the papers, and I'm interviewed. But because I wasn't physically there on the ground, Clyde Lewis, Lars Larson didn't want to give me credit for it because I was a super brain and psychic. And basically, when you have abilities that are that strong, it intimidates them. So basically, I'm the ultimate person that should be a police chief, work on the positive side of FBI, preventing human trafficking, using masculinity, powers of the mind, and advanced IQ to troubleshoot a lot of the world's problems. We're talking about the book that I'm going to write, rewriting how public education should be, drug treatment should be. And having had experience being gaslit by aspects of my audience in the mental health field and being kidnapped in July, I know that they're breaking people and creating, not preventing. No, there's not help. No, there's no help from the official medical community, but trauma. The only help that can come is from real humans with souls that offer help and or medicine. And we talk about medicine, THC, marijuana laws being satanic, okay, in half the states in the United States. And we don't really have humanitarians right now that understand real science of medical marijuana. They're at war with it. They don't want people to have help. They want people to be sick. Okay. And I was actually trolled, just so those of you know, by someone involved in management, connected to mayors and money. So this is an ongoing thing for men with stuff. Family, kids, I don't know. Does he have women locked in a closet? Probably. But men that have stuff that haven't suffered like me, like to reemerge in my life, to re-traumatize me like I'm some sort of woman or something for them to abuse. Just because I have a soft, sensitive side and it's brutal, because I actually have a very hardcore side that can fuck them up. So I'm not normal for a human. I'm very feminine in a good sense, and I have an open heart, and I have intuition. I'm what a lot of those, pretty blonde women in Portland purport to be. Psychic, knowing things, healers. In fact, they're infecting people with their dirty vaginas and panochas with no morality, sucking the soul out of dudes' dicks, which is what Emily did to me. And it's very healing for me to see Emily looking like a dog with the collar, to see the state that G-Man's sister ended up in, but she's following the content now, and other things as well. Okay. And so when you have men removed from leadership on various levels, and we're going to leave in 2 minutes, there's no one to say no to the rape. And so women, by and large, are very yielding by their very nature, by what made us, to authoritarianism. Okay. And their understanding of spirituality is physical pleasure. Okay. And one of the forms of physical pleasure is the orgasm. And aliens and demons can shut off a woman's orgasm with a good man to direct her in the arms of kink sex with bad men. And then once more babies are born with these bad men, you have a low level of empathy from the humans that come out of the womb that are then greater mind slaves. And so you have a lot of mind slaves, as I alluded to, that are part of the alien hybrid program of the 1950s, the 1960s, the 1970s, the 1980s. And a lot of these alien hybrid programs are in various positions of leadership. And now a lot of these women are acting soulless. They may have been soul-filled in the earlier days. And as I saw them in the 2000s and the 2010s, they got worse and worse and worse. We now have 2 viewers. I was going to bounce. If there's engagement, I'll stay. We'll see where this goes. But the fact of the matter is, and we'll note that now that we have someone just joined, like if MGTOW is still an ongoing topic, then it's not right of me to think that if I hashtag it MGTOW, that there will be no new viewers. It's that they tend to be anti-spiritual and radicalized and not really understand that we're spirits animating these flesh bodies. And you need kind of like a sifu or a master understand why you have a sexuality, why you're obsessed as a man with dirty sex, porno, and women that hate your ass, and in some cases your race. And that would be the case if you're me. Maybe not you as a white man, but if you're in my body, looking at porno chicks, gangbang chicks is not a healthy thing because they guarantee do not believe that my people's life matters or question 9/11 and would never be involved with a 9/11 truther, nor would most mainstream MGTOW people. They are, in fact, some of the most racist. And what I am is a mixed race spiritual light being that understands the predicament that mankind is in. And as we men keep being phased out, and the men allow themselves to be phased out because they fall for demonic mind control that gets into the MGTOW movement and then turns the male races against each other, which is the dark side of MGTOW. Men blaming other men or white men, blaming non-white men for their problems with women. And that's how you end up with men joining the military to go rape women overseas after they kill their dads. There's been so much of this in America since 9/11. And because I'm psychic, I'm traumatized by what the real nasty sex happening on the earth since 9/11. It's horrifying. And so many men are being converted to demons at this time through pornography. Not all, but some, because they've gone from promoting life to promoting the death of the woman. This is where me and Mark Passio are like this. But in the Matrix, Passio don't like me. And people sometimes are impatient with me, like Jordan, and they have to think about it for a day or two, why I was even criticizing Passio than complimenting him, or maybe somebody else, because I see the positive things in people, and I go, but this stuff right here, I can't join you on. And this stuff right here is so asinine, I'm almost embarrassed to promote you. And I have to talk about that with my audience, is that I'm not in the Alex Jones right-wing, white supremacy doesn't exist, all our problems are Muslims club. And the most majority of the internet is just like a demon thing. And I'm like this guy by himself with like 3 viewers who's laughed at. In the real world, and you would know yourself why you'd watch for 23 minutes and not like. That's for you and you alone to know. But I know that I'm a good person who is just asking to be treated as an equal. And if you compare me to other MGTOW people, you'll see that they have massive view counts. And what they did is they shadow banned me because I was life coaching men to becoming better men, confronting lust, confronting pornography addiction, even if I have not completely healed myself of it, I've been on the journey to confront it. Okay, I've been on the journey to talk about the solar flares and how women need male protectors and that is our role on the earth. And then furthermore, it is a spiritual thing and a pro-human thing to see that it is a gift from God for us to be able to procreate. And a lot of women have been trained by this world to hate their gifts and to not understand that the ultimate shift of ages is mentoring and bringing in a child into this world to do right, not, and that's the mistake my mother made, chasing the eternal youth, living forever trap, okay, and then engaging in the carnal arts to direct the male attention to thy booty while acting like it was about ascension. No, it wasn't. The type of da-da-da-da-da-da has nothing to do with ascension. And that's very unfortunate. Now, maybe stretching, yoga, qigong, taekwondo, that, yes. Maybe it's because I'm not a woman, but I, as a man, masculine man, do not see the behaviors of either my mother or father as being in line with what the Creator would want for us, but the opposite, all right? You need people like me on the radio. On the radio, not on YouTube talking to the same people, okay? I need to be influencing people on a larger scale. Men need to be involved, good men in leadership, and there needs to be some sort of system in place to where bad men, when they are in leadership, the women are calling them out. There has to be a greater movement of women that are disenfranchised with men that don't do the right thing. If I see a life coach criticizing people for criticizing men and women, that's not good. We need to criticize men and women when they're on their dark side. Okay. And then she's gaslighting and she was influencing somebody who was attacking me. And so if you're going to go on the internet and have 10 gurus, right, spiritual teachers, you're going to end up very confused when you have conflicting information. Now we have 3 viewers. So essentially, we can turn this into a MGTOW channel, but due to the increased psychic attack and demonic influence, now we have 4 viewers. It does seem that I could become successful again in MGTOW if, whether it's the power of the mind or just confidence, that I stop being a victim about shadow banning and just create content. And there are some warning signs that, I don't know about being killed, but that men could be harmed if they were to be MGTOW. And I just view men so far as being the ones that have harmed me as far as MGTOW. But there are warning signs of increased radicalization of the female gender. I think that women should be pro MGTOW if they don't want to get hit on. If they do want to get hit on, then that would make sense why they wouldn't want MGTOW. But then the alien thing going on regarding human sexuality is as follows. That women seem to want attention, but not to necessarily talk to or date the person giving them the attention. That when we give eyes to, or respond in the comment section, or visit someone's YouTube channel, read their community tab, that we're giving them energy through our eyes, especially if we love them and care for them and don't want to see them trafficked by a monster. Then we're giving them energy. And I have cared for and loved and given energy secretly, whether they knew it or not, to many women that watch me, that talk to me. I have loved them like a brother and have felt jabbed and knifed. All right. So after 20 years of doing this and bearing my soul, I feel like I'm really waking up to the red pill that I'm hated for my life. And my mother, unfortunately, is a part of that program, but has also said spiritual things that I agree with. So again, we are cast down into the illusions of separation program. My advice for MGTOW men that were in a dark space is not to hate all women, hate the programming, hate the game. Don't hate the player. Don't hate the temptress. Tell her what a temptress is and that she's suffering from mental illness if she's not going to kill you for talking to her. But unfortunately right now, and I demonstrated that to you without filming it, that some of them that are in leadership that are against men exposing human trafficking, they will misuse. We're going to be leaving in a few minutes. Police services and file a police report. And if they perceive that they're being threatened, they'll say to the police officer, hey, I'm being threatened because it's a man. Okay. When I start seeing more likes manifest in real time, we're 28 minutes into this, I'll start to then view the situation different, that people are either waking up or that I'm no longer shadow banned. At present, it's like I'm in a simulation talking to non-playable characters. Thank you for watching. I'm Mr. Vallis. See you in the funny papers.